We have a candidate who has made the system awash in money. It's an obscene amount of money. $1.5 million alone to county chairs. And mysteriously, every single one of them have given the nomination, given the line in that county to Phil Murphy. It's pay to play at its worst.
What is it in your time at Goldman Sachs that should give anyone any assurance that the progressive values you're talking about today are progressive values that you've acted on at Goldman Sachs, particularly when it relates to foreclosure?
That was from the Democratic primary debate for New Jersey governor. The candidates, they're piling on the frontrunner, Phil Murphy. Mr. Murphy is the former U.S. ambassador to Germany. He's also the Goldman Sachs executive, and he's leading the money race, which the other candidates are making sure to point out. He's also leading in the latest Quinnipiac poll. Murphy is the only candidate in double digits. More than half of the people polled, they're still undecided, just a few weeks from the June 6th primary. And State Senator Ray Lesniak, he is one of the people chasing Murphy. In a minute, we will discuss some major issues, especially the mess at Penn Station, as well as with overall New Jersey transit. But first, his campaign for governor and an award he just got. We'll talk about the race for governor in a minute, but first I wanted to talk about an award that I know means something to you. Last week at Rutgers, you got what's called the Champion for Recovery Award. It has to do with addiction and recovery and challenges to it. First, congratulations. And secondly, speaking to what you're trying to do at the state level, this program's given the governor a hard time recently because he made it a major issue in his final year in office that he was going to put a lot of resources and attention to try and fight not only addiction but also fight it a different way and try to treat the addict here to try and get them some help. Meanwhile, what we saw, the latest version that got through the House in Washington, would cut funding through the Medicaid cuts to the bone here and would impact states like New Jersey in a major way to actually fund those recovery. And the governor, at least I felt, was rather silent on it. So speak about both what you're trying to do and also some of the realities right now, given Washington and the consequences back home.
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm a founder of the Raymond J. Lesniak Experience, Strength, and Hope Recovery School. I never wanted anything named after me. But they asked me, and I said, "This is something that's really, really meaningful."
Why does it mean so much to you?
Well, because it's giving kids a chance to get an education and stay sober at the same time. And we had our first graduate finish her first freshman year at Rutgers, my alma mater, this year, and just to hear the stories, the mother's stories about how it was a hopeless case, and what would happen is when they go into rehab. When they're in their normal high school and they come back, they get offered drugs and alcohol almost the same day back. They need a safe and secure setting, and that's what my school provides for them. But the educational establishment doesn't want to support it. Why? Because there aren't any drugs here. And we don't have a drug problem here.
Speak, if you could, to the reality, and that's a great program here, but the governor has said one thing, he's made it a point. I see the commercials on the airwaves, but yet when you, not even the fine print, in bold letters here, Trump Care would cut nearly $900 billion out of Medicaid, and for people who don't realize, some of those monies were going to fight and to help people with addictions, with treatment facilities, etc.
It's devastating, but I have a solution for New Jersey. So he made these cuts in order to give massive tax breaks to millionaires and corporations. So as governor, I'll take those tax breaks and put them back to provide the coverage that it was taken from.
A huge issue, not just for the next governor, but also right now, is transportation in New Jersey. Not too many years ago, people forget this, New Jersey wasn't the punchline for this. It's a huge part of the state's economy, and more than that, you guys were where you needed to be in the Northeast Corridor. Now it's gone from bad to worse, and it could even get, believe it or not, I don't want to scare folks taking New Jersey Transit, but even worse than we see it now. Did this all kind of stem from the decision on the ARC tunnel?
Well, that was the beginning, and it was the governor's worst mistake. That tunnel would have taken 30,000 cars off the road, reduced pollution, and also promote economic development right along that corridor.
And the feds would have kicked in $3 billion.
Absolutely, absolutely. But the governor decided elsewise. We now have a transportation trust fund with $16 billion, but we're not spending it on New Jersey Transit. we're doing this light rail thing and this political thing here. That money, the focus has to be to make New Jersey NJ Transit a world-class mass transit system. That's the only way we're going to boost the economy and take, help the commuters and the people who ride the rails ride in comfort and arrive on time when they should expect to arrive.
This is not a new news I'm breaking here, but the pension fund, how does anybody fix this problem? I've seen the shenanigans in Trenton the last few years about finally deals are done and deals are broken and everything else, but at the end of the day, people are saying on both sides, you can't raise property taxes anymore. People are getting crushed, okay?
Oh, no.
How do you make good on what was promised and renegotiated, but at the same time not raise taxes on New Jerseyans?
Well, first of all, I voted against that deal that was broken. And that's why I voted against it, because I knew it was going to be broken. But we do have to bring back the millionaire's tax. We had a millionaire's tax. It didn't hurt the economy one bit. So we bring back the millionaire's tax. We have corporate loopholes that 40 other states have closed. We have not. So that's about $1.5 billion. We can make that payment into the pension fund. And then, yes, then in good faith, we have to sit down with the public employees unions, mostly on the healthcare side. There's tremendous amount of waste that can be saved on the healthcare side. People won't lose any coverage, they won't lose any benefits, but we'll save a lot of money. But we can't do that while people are afraid that their pensions aren't going to be there. No person, private or public, should have to worry while they're working that they're not going to have their pension available when they retire.
Primaries coming up.
Yes.
There's been small sample polling. Undecided, whoever that guy is winning right now.
Huge.
Yes, exactly.
Huge.
Running away with it. But Murphy, at least from every poll I've seen, seems to be doing the best.
Well,
how can you close the gap? Is this name recognition? Is this money?
Well, of course he's doing the best. He spent $20 million doing the best, and yet it's only got him about 25% of the vote, maybe even less. So the rest of it's up for grabs. I'm doing it through social media. I don't have Murphy's money, but I have a record that he doesn't have. I sponsored the most important environmental protection laws in the country. I've beaten the petrochemical industry and make them clean up toxic waste sites. I have a landmark women's rights case I won. I was the leader of marriage equality when even Democrats wouldn't support it for LGBT rights. So I have a record, and the public's voice will be heard, not the money of Phil Murphy's. That's what I'm hoping and expecting.
Well, to bring it full circle, regardless of what happens on primary day, congratulations. A really great program. I encourage people to check it out for helping people with addiction and recovery. Senator, thank you very much for the time.
I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely. Coming back, we'll take a look at some local headlines, so please stay with us.